My sister forbade me to go on the trip I paid for the family, so I canceled her ticket and we went on vacation all together without her. I am 29 years old and come from a relatively close-knit family. We are 3 siblings, me, my younger brother, 26 years old, and my younger sister, Bonnie, 24. I have a good relationship with my brother, but I've always had a somewhat complicated relationship with Bonnie. It's not that we don't get along, but she has always been a bit demanding. When we were children, our parents tended to favor her a little bit because she was the youngest of the family. Although I have tried to let it go, there have been occasions when her behavior has really tested my patience. My parents spoiled her a lot. This was not a problem while we were growing up because I simply ignored her most of the time. However, once we started growing up and she started demanding more, things began to change. This year, I received a good bonus at work. My parents' anniversary was nearby, and I thought it would be a great idea to take my family on vacation. It's been years since we've been somewhere together, so I thought it would be a fantastic way to reconnect and celebrate my parents' anniversary. I planned a 1-week trip to Hawaii, covering all expenses, flights, accommodation, activities, everything. When I announced the trip to my parents, they were delighted. I knew they would be excited, especially for the location. I was sure my brother would also appreciate my gesture. I was just worried about Bonnie's reaction. It is difficult to predict her mood. However, upon hearing about the trip, both were especially excited. Bonnie began to speak excitedly about what she wanted to do in the Instagram videos she would make. I took it easy, happy that she was excited. Everyone seemed excited, and I was happy to be able to do something nice for my family. However, that moment of happiness soon became bitter. When Bonnie began to insist that she wanted to plan the vacation, I told her that I was paying for the trip, so I wanted to plan everything myself. She made a fuss about it, saying I'm not good at planning things, so I should pass the responsibility on to her. It was not a request, but rather a demand that I delegate everything to her. There were a couple of reasons why I wanted to do it myself. First, it was my gift. Second, I know Bonnie's extravagant choices. When others pay, she reserves the most expensive things without thinking twice. I had booked everything according to my budget. Yes, she has that habit. If someone invites her, she will order the most expensive dish on the menu. On the other hand, if she invites, it will be something cheap. My parents tried to mediate, suggesting that if I was busy, I could ask Bonnie for help in planning the activities. I told everyone that the activities would be a surprise to keep them on edge. Bonnie insisted on knowing them beforehand to go shopping and choose suitable outfits for the activities. I assured her that it was not necessary, but she continued to insist. The way she tried to control me was so exhausting. I gave her the itinerary of the trip to leave me alone. Immediately, she called me furious and pointed out some things that had to be changed to make everyone feel comfortable. Her suggestions sounded legitimate, so I changed the schedule according to her recommendations. That fueled her ego. She said something like, "That's why I wanted to plan it. Attention to detail. See?" This made me ask if there was the slightest issue with the trip. Bonnie would come after me with her sarcastic comments, so it was better to let her take over. That's why I accessed my account to make any changes. I told her not to make any important changes to the schedule and not to add or remove activities. I could only reschedule them after my approval. She agreed. Immediately, she announced in the family group that she had taken over the planning of the trip and had made some changes. Some of the additions she made were pretty cool, like wearing matching outfits every day. That was good until then. 1 week before the trip, I saw that she had canceled some of the activities I had booked and replaced them with others she preferred. She also mentioned that she had made executive decisions regarding the itinerary and that everyone should follow her leadership. I was furious. This was supposed to be a gift from me, and she had taken it over completely. I called her, trying to reason with her, but she was determined. She said that since she was better at planning, I should let her take charge. I held my position firmly and told her there was no way I had already done enough to sabotage my plan, and now she should back out. She accused me of being controlling and hung up. That night, I received a call from my parents. Bonnie had told them everything, and they wanted to know what was going on. I explained the situation superficially so as not to ruin the surprise for them. I was hoping they would understand me, but to my surprise, they sided with Bonnie. They said that since she was so excited about the trip, I should let her have some control over it. They didn't seem to understand that she had taken it over completely and had ignored my efforts and money. They said it didn't matter who planned it or who paid. The fact is that we are family, and we should have a good time together in Hawaii. I felt frustrated and unappreciated. In a moment of anger, I wanted to cancel the whole trip, but I calmed down and took a step back. I did not cancel the trip, but I stopped participating in the planning. I thought if Bonnie wanted to be in charge so badly, then she would be in charge. I could sit down and enjoy, even if it wasn't the trip I had imagined. However, things took a turn for the worse. 2 days ago, as we were getting ready to leave tomorrow, I received a notification that my tickets had been successfully canceled. I was like, what the hell? I immediately called the travel agency and found out that they had been canceled from my account, so there was nothing they could do about it. It was no surprise. It was Bonnie. I called her angrily, and she acted as if nothing had happened. I screamed, "How dare you cancel my tickets?" She laughed and asked, "Oh, yes, I did." I lost my composure and screamed, "Would you mind explaining?" She replied, "Okay. I hate to say this. I know you were screwing it up and blah, 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 but we can't have you on the trip. You are too controlling, and your negative attitude would ruin the vacation for everyone. I discussed it with everyone, and the family has agreed to leave you out. You are not worth ruining our trip." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The trip I had paid for and planned was now happening without me. My sister somehow convinced everyone that I was the problem, and everyone had agreed to move forward with it. At that moment, something inside me broke. In this account, we upload the complete stories. Follow us for part 2.